night grows dark, darker still.
The greatest Aussie export since AC/DC will release their 7th studio album, Darker Still, on September 9 via their very own Parkway Records. It is my absolute honour and pleasure to welcome back Moses of the Mosh, Winston McCall from Parkway Drive.
That's possibly the greatest introduction I've ever had.
Somebody did their research last night watching Viva the Underdogs, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, man, dude. If I ever become a wrestler, you can be my hype man. I'll give you that.
Yeah, done. I'll give you that. But look, you've got a career in music which you need to define and keep working on, because we are just seeing the band grow from strength to strength with every album that's coming out. Darker Still, once again, has Parkway Drive honing in on those heavy metal aspects that you've been touching on from Aya through Reverence. And now it just seems to be the fact that you guys are playing alongside the greats, the Metallicas, you know, the Iron Maidens, the Guns N' Roses. This is what I heard and pictured when I heard this album all the way through.
Yep.
Yep. Brilliant. Interview over.
Interview done. Yeah, no, man. Like, first of all, thank you very much. Like, that's some very high praise. Because to be honest, like, that was the goal of a lot of it. Like, really, it was an attempt to raise the level of what we do artistically to the level that those bands hold, because that is some iconic shit that you just said there. Like, you're literally the greatest bands in rock and heavy metal. Like, and from an artistic point, it's like, it's not just niche stuff. You're talking about mainstream iconography. And when we started writing the music for this album, it was the thing where we hadn't played shows in, God, it was over 6 months. Like, there's no muscle memory. There's no like idea that this is even coming back. When you're writing like 6 months, start writing 6 months into the pandemic, and you realize this is going on for years, the idea of even being on stage again is like, that might never happen. So just write music for the sake of music. And when you're going to set yourself a goal, like, it's always been do a bit of an expanse on what you already do. And this was just like, all right, know what you do, and then go like aim for those kind of realms of sound, the realms which seem like take imagination beyond anything you've done before. And that's kind of what we went for. It was literally the no holds barred, no excuses. If you can't figure out how to do it, instead of like going to something comfortable, figure out how the hell to do it and just commit. So it was a lot of like, it's just a massive amount of work in areas that we have not done before, but like, really was like, we weren't looking back at previous things as a touchstone to go like, okay, we kind of do it like that. We were like, no, these people have done something special in the past, and it's remained for 20, 30 years, 40 years. Like, let's aim for that. Like, let's aim to try and do something that like could stand up with that kind of stuff. Whether or not we succeed, yeah.
It's the legacy of leaving behind the music that is going to be with generations upon generations. I mean, Everyone who's been a fan of Parkway Drive can go back through the back catalogs, and you can always pinpoint the song or the album that made you a fan. But this is the stuff that people are going to look back in, 20 years from now and go, holy fuck, that was the defining moment. The band really took that trajectory as far as they could, grasp it by the balls and fucking go hard.
Yeah. We shall see, because that's definitely what it's designed to do. Like, it is audacious and ambitious in a way that we've never been before. Because like you have very like, you have self-imposed lanes that you stick in when you're doing this day in, day out for 20 years. Like, no matter what, it's going to influence you in some way, shape, or form with what you do when you're creating. And this was literally just imagination and daring to be ambitious in what you're actually chasing. Because a lot of the time ambition is seen as like, I don't know, like trying to be something you're not. And this was the chance to just go, no, it's not about trying to be something we're not. It's trying to be something that we could be. And that was kind of it. It was like, this could be the last album you ever make. So what's the potential? What's the true potential that you have that you've never been able to hit before? And that's what we aim for. So,
and how do you go fucking hard and leave people wanting more? Honestly, I don't want to focus on the naysayers and the negative people, because they can all eat a dick and fuck off. But honestly, You've got songs on here, like obviously The Greatest Fear, Soul Bleach, and Land of the Lost, that still prove you have those metalcore, those core elements, and your screams are just absolutely defined on this, which when we first had our first interview, you said you finally learned how to scream, and now, 2-3 albums later, you're still honing in on that and doing different things. So, yourself, you're growing as a musician, the band are all getting together and just fine-tuning what they can do. And Jeff, I hate to say it, but this album is just the Jeff show. I fucking love the fact that he gets to be that shred master he's always wanted to be.
Finally, man. Yes, 100%. Like, yeah, I've always thought that he is one of the most underrated guitarists in the entire metal scene, to be honest. And there's something like the thing that's always defined him that I've always loved about his playing is like he's got a lot of soul. There's a lot of soul in his playing. Like for all the technical wizardry and everything that goes within metal, like soul is the thing which connects with people, and that's how Jeff plays. And this was the album where like, dude, Darker Still has like 3 guitar solos in it, and they all have a different, and it's all like a different piece of his soul. Each one of them matters, which is the thing. And I was like, dude, if that's what's needed in a song, and it's like it doesn't come across as like wankery, then that says something about your playing. So I'm really glad that that's what you picked up, because yeah, Jeff goes nuts on this thing.
It's funny that you mentioned Darker Still, because that was a question I was going to bring up, but fuck it and bringing it in now. It's almost 7 minutes long. It is a metal opus, and like you said, 3 guitar solos in there. But the thing is, you don't get bored. You chuck this thing on, and from the start to the end, it captivates you. Like, you go on this journey, and the only equivalent we had on the last album was Chronos. So now to up the ante and to put a song out that's kind of like of the equivalent of Nothing Else Matters meets, Unforgiven, those long metal anthems, you have absolutely nailed it with this one. It is my favorite track, and I always say I don't want to like, the title track of an album. I want to dive deep, but I dove into this and loved it instantly.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much, because that was the goal, and it's my favorite thing that we've ever done, like straight up, because that really is like, it encapsulates like Jeff's initial like dreams of being a guitarist, in the fact that when we started this band, like, and still to this day, his favorite band's Metallica. Like the references you put down there is like Jeff's influence through and through. But we never had the ability to even try something like this up until this album. And we'd attempted to on 2 previous records and couldn't do it, and rolled it back on like into like a safer sound. And he just wrote that riff and chucked the whistling part at the start of it. And we're like, dude, nothing else matters. Like, you got to write a song like that. Like, we have to make the riff into that kind of song. And it was like a 2-year challenge of writing that thing, of like, we'd get a bit of it done, and then it would seem like this mountain we couldn't climb, and we'd be like, it's so catchy, let's just make just a banger out of it. And we'd do that, and we'd be like, it's wasted in a banger. It's got to be something epic. It has to be epic, and it's got to be the most epic song we've ever written. And it's just like, it's completely different from anything we've made. Like, if Chronos, you're correct in saying like Chronos is the closest reference, but even that is built around the heavy Parkway sound. Like, I'm not really screaming at all in this entire song. It's all sung. It's quite soft. It's like very tender. The majority of it's like acoustic, but with those lead guitars running through them. And then it's got like November Rain halfway through it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. See, the anthemic, really long songs that you listen and you're captivated by, this is your mark. So take that with you for the rest of your career. What I want to know, though, is can you right now, in front of everyone, whistle for me?
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to?
Yep, go on. See, look, you've got practice. I can't whistle. I can't whistle in front of 5 people, let alone fucking tens of thousands. So how the fuck are you going to pull that off?
Get ready to hear that a lot in your brain once you hear this song. Yeah, I don't know. Like, to be honest, like that whistle is a culmination of a lot of us doing a lot of tracks. But there's the solo at the start, the last whistle, and then the bass for it was actually when we went to track it, we're like, who's going to do this whistle? We're like, we're all okay, but it's not quite good enough. And we're like, we're doing a big album. Let's literally find the world's best whistler. So we Googled. Typed into Google world's best whistler, and this girl called Molly came up, and we watched her like doing stuff in Paris, at the Louvre and stuff, and we're like, oh my god. And Luke's like, I'll get in contact with her and see what she says. And he got in contact with her and was like, yo, you wanna do some stuff for this band called Parkway Drive? And she's like, yeah, of course. Like I went to Byron High. Like she turns out.
Get fucked.
Yeah, man, it was a so,
wow.
So it's like I used to go to the youth center gigs. It was sick. So she's she did the solo at the start and laid down the bass for it, and then we just like layered our versions on top of that. But in terms of me doing it live, I'm definitely relying on the audience's ability to help me out with that one. But that's why there's so much behind it. She's literally world's best whistler.
I can't believe that. I'm going to do some research about her going after this interview, because that's fucking brilliant. And the fact that she's from Byron too, that's insane.
Oh, shit, man. Trip. Meant to be.
Now, look, as you grow and you develop and you become the metal icons you were always destined to be, are we going to see Parkway Drive releasing some pop vinyl characters soon? Because that's what the world needs.
I've actually thought about this for some reason. I don't know why, but I have thought about it. And I don't know how to go about it. But, I mean, yeah.
I mean, check that out. That's all you need. I've got my own.
That's pretty good, but he's at least wearing a hat. I'm just like, here's Jeff. He's got on jeans and a T-shirt. Here's Ben. He's wearing shorts and a T-shirt. Like, really iconic there, boys.
Well, just have a microphone in one hand and a boogie board in the other.
Yeah, that's actually sick.
Why? That's you, see?
Yeah, okay.
Hire me as your marketing team. I'll do it for free, Winnow. All right. Now, as we sort of ease towards the end of the interview itself, one thing I picked up on in Viva the Underdogs was the predictions that you guys had in 5 years' time. Where are you going to be? You're currently sitting at album number 7. And I want to know, because Winston, I'm going to be following your career for the rest of my life until I die. So where do you see the band going by the time you hit album 10?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. See, here's the really weird thing. Normally I know what the next album is going to be. We finish up an album and I'm like, that was good, but I know that there's places that we can take this beyond anything that we've done before. This album we finished up and I'm like, the fuck do we go now? Like, I've got no idea like what to create after this, because it's like, it's hit things which I never thought we could hit. Like, there's nothing left in the imagination bank. So it's going to be really interesting to see where we go sonically after this. But as far as we're concerned, the shackles are off in any way, shape or form. Like, we're coming back from COVID. We know what it's like to lose absolutely everything. And we know what it's like to come back having an album like that we always dreamed of making under our belts, and the ambition to push it as far as possible. And I'm quite upfront with saying that this is a very ambitious album. I would rather aim for the world and miss, knowing that the worst that can happen is you get locked in your house and never get to go back out again. So coming back, I'd rather aim for the world. I'd rather like the next monster of metal come from Australia than anywhere else. And I'd love to be that band. And that's what we were writing for. That's the thing. At the end of the day, you know that we love playing to 30 people in a dingy little club. We got Parkway's 20-year anniversary coming up. Plenty of things to be stoked about. But in the meantime, I will design a show for the biggest arena tour we're doing in Europe in a month's time, and like the best album that I think we've ever created, and see where that takes us. So in 10 years' time, who the fuck knows?
well, mate, when I saw Reverence, the album, I gave it a 10 out of 10. When I saw the show, I said, holy fuck, this is the best show I've ever seen, and I still stand by that. So how can you top that? How can you level up from Moses of the Mosh? Do you become God of the Gutturals?
God of the Gutturals. Whaler on the wall. Oh man, there's plenty. That's the thing. Like, all we ever do is learn. It's not something where we've ever tried to just move away from what we do. We just keep ourselves rooted in the one place and grow and learn what the strengths are. And we have not been idle during COVID. Like, what we're working on now is the culmination of 20 years of knowing our stuff and owning it and keeping on growing. So is the next thing, like the next show from Parkway that we get to bring going to be good? Yes, it's going to be good. It's really, really good. Like it's not even necessarily about leveling up for us. It's a constant evolution and just making sure the music hits in every way it possibly can, and taking you, like when you go to a Parkway gig, you're at a gig that is memorable from start to finish in its own unique way. And yeah, we're keeping working.
I've legitimately got goosebumps now. the progression, the just the maturity, the humbleness. Like Winston, you probably do realize this, and it's hard to take compliments from people, but it is so good and refreshing watching the band grow and learn at the same time as us fans follow those steps. Like you're 2 steps ahead of where we are, like appreciating your music and all that, but you're still trying to figure it all out, and we're like, fuck, we're still trying to figure out this new sound.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And trust me, it works both ways. Like it's pretty, this is our only experience being in a band, but I have plenty of friends who have, like, want to expand their sound or have fans that have not taken to it kindly or have not been understanding of things. And like, it's a brutal industry being just an artist, full stop. Like it really is the thing where you carve off pieces of yourself and put it into what you do and hope that people understand what it is, because when they don't, it's quite a brutal feeling. But it seems like the magic thing has always been that the connection of whatever we have with our fans has been one where people are willing to give it the time and to understand what the artistic intent is and understand it for a place beyond cynicism of like, maybe they're just trying to do it to get some money. Like, it's so easy for people to say that. Like, seriously, like so easy. And it does, like the fact that it doesn't happen just makes me stoked, dude. Like, it makes me really stoked.
Look, just keep doing what you're doing. Everyone will jump in where they need to. And obviously the dream and the vision with this album, it's something you have to listen from start to finish. You can't just listen to the singles and expect to pick it up. There is so much to unpack with Darker Still. And I honestly cannot wait for the rest of the world to hear this. It is coming out September 9, Parkway Records. Winston McCall, as always, it is an absolute pleasure. Thank you for stopping by Wall of Sound.
Cheers, Browny. Thank you.
Wall of Sound.